Watertown Whiskey presents Reality After Show's coverage of the NFL Weekly Preview Show with Survivor Legend Jonny Fairplay, Survivor 47's Gabe Ortis, and producer Bobby Goodsby. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our weekly NFL preview podcast here at Reality After Show. I'm one of the co-hosts, Bobby Goodsby, and joined, as always, by my good friend and Survivor's legend, Jonny Fairplay. Jonny, how you doing?
I don't know if I'm here always, but I'm here a lot of the times. As far as preview goes, we're going to preview the Monday night game, talk about the week that was, but we have a special guest here, Jason Powell. A lot of you know him from ProWrestling.net and the Pro Wrestling Boom podcast, which I just did earlier today, talking the AEW All Out pay-per-view, and of course WWE's WrestlePalooza. Oh my God, it's a party. Who could say no? Jason Powell. But before I bring you in, Jason, I'm bringing you in, please elaborate why you're not only an expert in the world of professional wrestling, you know a little thing or two about fantasy football and football as a whole, because you kind of wrote about it.
I did, yeah. So I would not consider myself an expert at anything. I'm one of those guys who's like, the master of no term. What I don't even remember what the phrase is. It's been a long day. I'm still recovering from Saturday. There's too much wrestling on. But yeah, so I did work as an assistant. Or actually, what was my title? Senior editor. I became at fanball.com. Back in when, if anybody knows Paul Chartian, when he and Rob Pythian owned the company, I was there for going on 5 years, and we put out the fantasy football weekly magazines. It sounds like we put them out weekly. There are actually like 3 or 4 of them in the summer months, and yeah. So I was billed as a fantasy football expert for whatever that's worth, and I did win an award for being the only guy that thought Randy Moss was going to kill it in New England. So that was nice. Everybody thought I was nuts, and well, he scored like 2 or 3 touchdowns the first game, and everyone shut up.
Yeah,
I would say you nailed that one.
I can relate. I am the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Cruiserweight Champion of the world. So, of course, I am a champion amongst champions and the smartest guy and strongest guy in the room.
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what I was trying to say.
There we
yes,
go.
Johnny, you indeed are the Cruiserweight Champion of the world, and
of Boca Raton.
Yes, of Boca Raton. I am getting emails now from them out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But they're not really anything I'd put on the site, so don't tell them that.
Okay, fair enough. It happens to the best of us. So we were running. Our schedules were crazy because of life. So we're going to take a look back at week 3 of the NFL and preview the big Monday night war that we have coming live from Baltimore. I was actually in Baltimore last Gabe, and here's my tailgate pass, the famous tailgate from Jimmy's Famous Seafood, possibly the greatest tailgating experience I've ever had in the history of tailgating ever. Holy shitballs. Do they do it good? And if you pregame the tailgate, which the tailgate starts at 9 a.m. If you pregame with Watertown whiskey at 7 a.m., it is the best day you could ever have as a human being.
You may not make it until evening, but it would be the best day you ever had.
It was so Gabe has season tickets, and they're next to last row at the Baltimore Ravens. So it's 5 flights of the ramps, the never ending ramps that you just go back and forth, and then you get to section the 5th level, and then you walk and you finally get up to the next last row, and there's Gabe's seats, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And he was like, dude, you can see everything, and I'm like, except the players.
I can't speak for Baltimore, but Wade Keller from PWTorch.com and I and some friends had season tickets to the Vikings starting Randy Moss's first year, his rookie season with the Vikings. And we had him, I think, until it actually just worked out like he left. He was traded to Oakland, Oakland, I think, at the time. And same thing. We were at last row of the upper deck, corner of the end zone. The tickets were like 90. It was either, I think it was $199 or $99 a season. That's how cheap they were back then. Yeah, it was wonderful. And we were bitching about paying $5 a beer. So imagine what it is today. But yeah, you really can. You get a great feel for it. And I just went to the game last Sunday. Well, it wasn't much of a game, but at the US Bank Stadium, and we were closer, but similar. And a guy that was seated next to me is like, I love these. You can see everything. I'm like, there you go.
There we go.
As a Vikings fan, diehard Vikings fan, that rings true for me. The actually funny thing is, I've been to US Bank Stadium one time because I live in California, and the one game I went to in Minnesota was the Minneapolis Miracle, of all games to go to.
Well, we got to get you up here more often. My God,
that's what the people sitting next to me, they're like, "This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen to us." And I'm like, I know, and they're like, "You have to come to every game. We will pay for you to come to every game."
And why are you in California then? Come on, get up here.
If I could, I would. Trust me. My buddy actually at the casino was at the game this weekend too. So he flew to Minnesota for the game. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't much of a game, but we'll take it. I'd rather it be a blowout like that than what we've had in the past.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't go to this game. I went to the freaking game where McCarthy just was lousy, and it wasn't all him. The offensive line was brutal. Yeah. The one against the Falcons, it just sucked. It wasn't bad in person, and I'm happy I went because I could see, like, this isn't all on McCarthy. The media's like playing it up that where fans mostly are. There were, like, he missed a long pass, a couple of missed opportunities, but a lot of it was just the receivers were not open and the line gave him no time.
Oh, yeah. And having Darisaw back in that lineup is going to change things dramatically. I've been saying that to some of my Vikings friends. I was like, guys, like, you got to realize when Darisaw's not there, the rest of the line has to make up for, Skull being not the same person as Darisaw, not the same player caliber as Darisaw. So they have to kind of do multiple assignments. So yeah, it looks like the world is crumbling, and that offensive line was like the worst graded offensive line of the week. And I really think once Darisaw's back in, it'll be dramatically different. And it's unfortunate that McCarthy's hurt right now so that he can't be a part of like at least semi-healthy line. I know Kelly was out with an injury, but look at the dramatic difference that line provided yesterday opposed to, the week before. And
definitely.
I think that offensive line, once Darisaw is back, it's dramatically different. So, I mean, well, let's get into it. So let's get into the games of the week. First off, I know that we wanted to talk the Thursday nighter, the Bills-Dolphins game. Johnny, what were your thoughts? Did you get to watch that game live?
I did watch that game. I had a little coin on it. Everything worked out as it should. Went up a few $100s for the week with that one, with just a crazy little parlay. And the Dolphins are the Dolphins I expected to see. There was they kept it tight enough, but the Dolphins are going to dolphin. And this team is they ain't Saints bad, but they ain't good.
The Dolphins are a hot mess. They played that game closer than I expected them to.
Yeah,
I'll give them credit for that. And I think, according to the spread, I think they definitely came in under what expectations were. It seemed like a giant spread. We don't get to gamble up here in Minnesota unless we go to Vegas or do it illegally. So I didn't have any skin in the game, but I saw that spread and like, ooh, that's steep, especially for divisional. But yeah, the Bills are the real deal. It's just, can they get over that hump? It's them in Baltimore, kind of in that same spot. Like, can they finally get by Kansas City and get to a Super Bowl?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no, and watching the game too, I was absolutely shocked at how close Miami was keeping it. No, don't get me wrong. Like, whenever it's a divisional game, those games kind of can be a little funky, especially on a short week. But the fact that they kept it as close as they did really, really surprised me. Honestly, their defense might be the worst defense in all of football, and it's just so bad. I mean, do we see McDaniels being the first coaching firing of the season? Like, I feel like a week or two from now, we could be saying goodbye to him for sure.
Yeah, he does seem like he's going to be the first one to go. Dallas's defense is pretty rotten, but they have a new coach. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Watching that game yesterday, I'm like, wow, we're going to get the Bengals coach fired. And then I'm like, oh, they were 2-0. Not yet. But I don't think I think this is probably it for him in Cincy this year too.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. All right. So Thursday night game, like we said, they kept it close, but obviously the Bills pulled away, which thank God saved me in my Survivor pool. So I'll take it. I do want to get into the Vikings game. I know we talked about it a little bit, but what an absolute demolishing. And I know I have to ride my high horse here because I was really worried going into this game. I didn't know what to expect from Carson Wentz. I was like, if he can just navigate and this offensive line does not crumble with Darisaw back, I think we could be a dramatically different team. And we saw that this week. Now, granted, the majority of the credit I want to put on the defense in particular, especially, some of the free agents we were able to bring in over the offseason that had a huge role in this win. But from start to finish, this game was really, really well coached, well played. Carson Wentz didn't look like the moment was too big. We saw him in the Kansas City game last year where he came in week 17 or week 18, and played in replacement because obviously they had already clinched. And he was playing with all backups against Denver. Yeah. And watching him in that game, I was like, man, he looks bad. But I was like, I know it's backups, but still. And watching him in the game yesterday, I was like, okay, I can calm down a little bit. I'm not as worried. I'd much rather have him out there than Howell. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And for those of you that don't know, Carson Wentz actually grew up a huge Vikings fan. So it's kind of cool to see him have this full circle moment where he's kind of gone, 6 teams in 6 years. And he's finally getting to play for the team that he rooted for growing up. And now he's here and he actually did really well in the game. I was really happy to see it. Obviously, the player of the game, and why am I blanking on his name right now?
Isaiah Rodgers.
Isaiah Rodgers, thank you. I was like, why can't I think? I've been talking about it all the last 2 days now. Isaiah Rodgers, pick 6, fumble returned for a touchdown, and another fumble forced as well. Give him defensive player of the week. Hell, he might be in the running for defensive player of the year. Absolutely incredible game, like historic.
All right,
game
Homer.
for him. No, but seriously, Jason, can you agree with me on this?
Well, I mean, it's too soon to say on defensive player of the year, but certainly, yeah. I mean, it's a historic game. Nobody has ever done what he did statistically, and I mean, it was amazing. This guy, it wasn't fluky either. He was making plays, and the crazy thing is, didn't almost all of it happen in the first half?
Yes,
he just was crushing in that first half.
Yeah, it was incredible to watch. I mean, the fact that and there should have been I think there was 4 turnovers in the game. There should have been 5 or 6. They punched it out multiple times and just absolutely amazing job by this Flores-led defense. It makes me worried because I don't want to lose Flores. But honestly, if he continues coaching the way he has, I was shocked he didn't get a head coaching job last year. He's definitely getting a head coaching job next year.
It's so bad. I just keep hoping, keep blackballing him. We'll keep him here. And he's still suing you. You don't want to promote him. I get it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
I think he's fantastic. The issue I had with Wentz, I mean, it's been, I get it. He hasn't played much, and he really didn't get a summer of training camp because he was holding out thinking, I don't know, he's going to start somewhere. Somebody got hurt. I don't know what it was, but he just he was holding on to the ball, making kind of the same mistakes that McCarthy, or not even McCarthy, but I'm trying to think of another quarterback that's an example. They just hold Caleb Williams holding the ball too long. And if he gets it out on time, I thought he was very good. I'm sure that's going to be something O'Connell's going to be harping on him about all week, is you got to get rid of the ball, because some of the sacks, I don't even know how many he took, but sacks or just pressures were on him more than the offensive line.
Yeah, I think they allowed 3 sacks, and honestly, I think all 3 of those sacks were the first half of the game. The second half, much better football. I think he got comfortable. They got enough of a lead that he was able to play a little more comfortable.
And we also actually get a running game. Jordan Mason's great, man.
Jordan Mason, yes, absolutely.
I grabbed that guy in every fantasy league I could.
Yes. I tried to make a trade for him this week. And now we got Addison coming back next week. So very much so looking forward to that. Hopefully McCarthy's on the mend. I still am excited to see what McCarthy could do with a healthy offensive line. I know people are worried. I know there's a lot of people out on McCarthy, but it's been 7 bad quarters of football for him and 1 good quarter. I still think, he's only in his second year. He's only in 2 games into his career. Give him time. Let it happen, guys. No one starts off great. They have to learn. So, Johnny, what were your thoughts on the Vikings-Bengals game?
Well, I was going to go back to McCarthy. I think he's the second best good-looking guy in the league. That was it, Jack Dart. Holy smolies! I'm not allowing my fiance to watch football anymore.
Wow,
wow,
big Jackson Dart guy, huh?
Oh, who knew? Oh my God! And he had the diamond chain. I was like, oh my God, stop it! Stop it. He's just like, hey, ladies, this can be yours later tonight. And just like, that's fucking cubic zirconia. It better be. So, the Bengals without Burrows it's just I thought this was going to be bad. You know, I'm a Cincy guy, but I'm also a Minnesota guy. I'm a every guy. I just like buying jerseys. Purple's a really good color. I have not got the real JJ in any of my leagues, so I don't have that jersey. But the Bengals are done without Burrow, and the Vikings look good. I think it really just comes down to the O-line, and that we saw a difference. And I'm not ready to say Carson Wentz is our guy. I say let's this is the year for JJ to show what he can do when he's ready to come back. Let's jump on that train and ride it for 10 years if possible.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, they the Bengals, the backup has just there's some YOLO to him. He's not afraid to just go out there and air it out and hope for the best. And he beat us in a game with Flores as defensive coordinator once before when Burrow was out. So I was worried about that. I was really he did not look like the same guy yesterday. I think it was just the Vikings were getting a great pass rush. And the biggest thing for the Bengals, like I think they should have a better running game than they do. I don't know what the hell's going on with Chase Brown there, but their defense is atrocious. The biggest mistake they made, and I'm curious to see what the Vikings do with this. I love their receivers. But you can't afford to pay Joe Burrow what you pay him, Jamar Chase what you pay him, and T. Higgins what you pay him. You've got to spread some of that money around. And so I get it. You know, I understand. Like, it's hard to let a player like T. Higgins go. And they should. They made the right call not spending it on Trey Hendrickson at his age. He's still productive, but you don't want to. You can't lock yourself into a guy at that age either. They got to find a way to just cut bait on some of these guys and spread it around. And but at the same time, you got to keep Burrow happy, and he wants T. Higgins. So what do you do?
Well, that's the biggest issue, I think, for them is the fact that, like, you did, and this is a good learning block for the rest of the NFL as well, is to see how this plays out, where they're paying two receivers, you know, wide receiver one money, and their quarterback, obviously, top tier money as well. So all that money is going towards Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. You can't afford anything else. So I think even with the Vikings, when we have this predicament down the road, say we have to pay J.J. McCarthy, say we have to pay Jordan Addison, which should be in the next year or so. Honestly, as much as I love Addison, I would rather have that money spent elsewhere on the offensive line, on the defense, what have you, bring in a corner, than pay Jordan Addison, which I think Jordan Addison wouldn't get as much money as like a T. Higgins contract, but it would still be a pretty significant hit on our cap space. So I think that going forward, I think this is a good learning block for the rest of the league as to obviously, and look, Joe Burrow's out and the rest of the team's crumbling because you spent all that money in central location. You're not spreading it out. And I think the Vikings have shown they're not going to play that route where they spread the money evenly to like AVG. We brought him on a low contract. You know, we've got all these Gernard, who's on a, you know, decent contract, but honestly, it's a very team friendly contract. We're spending the money wisely, spreading it out, opposed to paying two players significant amounts.
It's really crazy. The money that Houston gave to Danielle Hunter is identical to the money the Vikings gave like Cashman, Jonathan Gernard, and Andrew Van Ginkel. So we got those three players for basically Danielle Hunter. You would take that every time for the same money. And Hunter's still a really good player. But I mean, that just goes to show, like, sometimes you got to cut bait.
There's some value. There's some value out there in the NFL right now, which got, like, we were talking on our the first or second podcast. I think actually you guys were talking on the first podcast, Bobby. The Ravens addressing the issues that they had. And not, you know, they're just like, hey, is Zay Flowers Chase? No. But guess what? Zay Flowers is good enough as long as you got the guy that can throw it good enough. And he's one of the best. And, you know, and let's address this defense. Let's address this line. Let's address, like that. I love smart money and I love value money.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate Zay Flowers. He's a very good receiver.
No. I'm just saying, but like they're just like, we're good. Like,
it's not Jamar Chase money.
Is he Jamar Chase? No.
No,
But
no.
like, are you more than okay with him in Baltimore? Yes.
Mhm.
That is high value.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. There's so many receivers that have gone there to die. They've
Yes.
drafted receivers, and I think a lot of it is just Lamar, and it's not a knock against him. He's just a very unique quarterback with that running ability and everything else. He's not your traditional pocket passer, and so you just don't see receivers thrive. I think Flowers is kind of, unless I'm forgetting someone, really the first wide receiver who's thrived with Lamar as the quarterback.
Yeah, and Rashad Bateman had a good season last year, but like Rashad Bateman, his entire career has been relatively kind of a bust. Like, yes, he had one good year, and I fight with Gabe every week on this. They're like, oh, we had a Rashad Bateman sighting, because I honestly don't think he's a good wide receiver, and I'm like, how many years do I have to see him in the 8th round of my fantasy draft being like, I don't want to take him, but like, should I? Because like he should be that guy, and he's just not. So next thing I do want to get into, let's get into another game. We talked a lot about the Vikings game. One of the best games of the week, in my opinion, Rams Eagles. I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. And I have something exciting to share with you guys about that game. Jason, I'll let you start with this one.
Well, can I spoil it, Bob? Bobby was watching pantsless, Jason.
Was watching what?
He was watching the game pantsless.
No, I was not.
Gosh. It was
spoiler.
It was a great game when I saw it. I was mostly just kind of watching on Red Zone, and there's a good amount of scoring, and so I was able to see a good chunk of it. And I am kicking myself. I benched Kyron Williams yesterday, and for Jordan Mason, but I also had Chase Brown in the lineup, and I should have benched him instead. And the reason I'm kicking myself, like, the Eagles have a great run defense, but I should have looked up last year's numbers, because the Rams, boy, on a different playing surface, I don't know if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl last year. The Rams really gave them a game, and they did so again here, just a block kick away from beating them. Boy, when the Rams are on, they're as good as anybody.
Yeah. Johnny, what were your thoughts on the game?
I agree, but anyone counting out the Philadelphia Eagles this year of going to the Super Bowl, you're insane. They find a way, and there's so much talent, and so like their fans suck. They're some of the worst.
Yes.
They're not Cowboys bad, but they're pretty darn close. They are some shit fans. Sorry for I do have a few friends that are Philadelphia fans, and they're some of the good ones. So,
no Survivor viewing parties in Philadelphia anytime soon.
No, not even close. So, well, the same Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh used to have the worst fans ever, and they're getting better. So, like, they clean up the city and they clean up the fans.
They have the quietest wrestling fans ever. We know that.
They are the most politest. They are very quiet. It's not a compliment, Jason, at all. I saw what you did there. Philly's gonna win. Holy moly! If anyone that does, like, it was just like, I like last year everything came. It seems like every week everything comes together. So that's where I'm at.
They should have been right in the mix the year before, but they lost their coordinators and obviously made some bad hires there. And the talent, it was there, and we saw that again last year when they finally got things straight. That's a really good, deep team. It pains me to say it, because they beat our Vikings in the last time we went to the NFC Championship. And the Eagles always seem to have our number. But that's a hell of a team. With injuries, it's so hard to say in week 3. But if that team stays healthy, they've got as good a chance as anybody to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I want to add to honestly, Jalen Hurts had a huge game, 21 for 32, 226 yards and 3 touchdowns. On over the air, that's where I feel like the Rams are a little more susceptible. I think, honestly, they have probably the best rush defense in all of football, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think that they played the run very well. Look at what they did to Saquon Barkley at 18 carries for only 46 yards, 2.6 average. Like, no one does that to Saquon Barkley, especially with that offensive line. So very impressive by that D-line to be able to hold Saquon Barkley back as much as they did. I'm honestly very impressed with this Rams team. I think this Rams team is one of the best in the league. I think they can compete with anyone. I think if they were able to play this game at home, they might have run away with it. because they honestly I think they're a different team on at home opposed to on the road. And we finally got AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Like, we finally got them going. AJ Brown had 6 receptions, 109 yards, and 1 touchdown. Devonta Smith, 8 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. So good to see the production there from those guys, because a lot of fantasy owners have been complaining the last 2 weeks, like, man, Philly sucks when it comes to getting the ball to the pass catchers. So it's good to see them getting their catches and getting back into the game. But like I said, I digress. I really think the fact that the Rams were able to hold Saquon back as much as they did was a huge statement. And I think even though they didn't win the game and it kind of ended in dramatic fashion, they were right there in it. They could have easily won this game had they not had 2 block field goals to really screw themselves over. Then it would have been a different game. Now, I said I wanted to share something with you guys. So yesterday, I had a 4-team parlay. I had Vikings -3, that covered. I had Steelers -1.5, that covered. And so then I had Eagles -3.5 in this parlay.
You took the early buy, didn't you?
Huh?
Did you take the early buy?
I took the early. No, I didn't take the early buy. I let it go. So I was like, well,
a lot of us learned a valuable lesson week 1 on taking the early buy. I did not take the early buy. So Baltimore versus Buffalo.
So in this one, so
I for $900. I'm like, nope. I want $900. $809 is not enough.
That $1 was a huge difference maker.
So you let it ride and it actually paid off.
So I wasn't.
I did not eat.
Yeah. So the problem was I caught it too early or too late because I was watching the Vikings game, right? So when I finally turned on to the Rams Eagles game, they were lining up for the field goal to win the game. I was like, oh shit. I was like, so it doesn't matter what happens. Even if they miss the kick, I lose. They make the kick, I lose. There's no possible overtime. It's done. And then Jordan Davis decides to get his big mid up there, block it, and return it for a touchdown, making me cover the spread.
Yes.
In shocking fashion. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that probably had the Rams and lost a lot of money on that play, but my God, was I throwing my fist in the air, jumping around, being like, are you kidding me?
That one, if from the Rams perspective, that makes the bad beat show for sure.
Oh, that's bad beat of the week. Not even close.
Yes.
Yeah. How much did you win?
So I ended up also having Kansas City -6 in the night game for that too. So I was sweating that one for a minute. I was like, no way. I just pull all this comeback and then this happens. But they ended up pulling away. I put in $15. I won 170. So
well done.
Yeah, not too bad. 14 parlay is not the easiest. And I would have had my other parlay hit too. I took Cowboys Bears under 50 points, Vikings Bengals over 41.5. And then what was the other one? I think I took I forgot, there was something else, but the one that screwed me was Tampa Bay against the Jets. I had Tampa Bay -3.5. And of course that last fumble recovery for a touchdown screwed me.
Oh, well, what felt like a bigger miracle to you, being there for the Minneapolis Miracle or the Eagles blocking that field goal and housing it to give you the win?
Minneapolis Miracle is behind my daughter's birth and marrying my wife, the 3rd best thing that's ever happened to me. Nice. I will say this, and I've said it on the podcast before. I went by myself on my fantasy football money winnings. I was single at the time. I literally was -15 degrees outside, like blizzarding. Never been that cold in my entire life. When I got off the plane, it felt like someone punched me in the chest. Luckily, the game was indoors. But I remember just being there, and then we're like, oh, it's just not going to happen. There's no way. And I was right on the 30-yard line where Diggs caught the pass and then ran it in. And I'm screaming, being like, get out of bounds, get out of bounds. And then I just see him running. I'm like, oh, he's keep going. Oh my God, we're going to win. Holy shit. Like, it was like a moment of like multiple thought processes going on. And I've never heard a stadium that loud in my life before. Like,
I believe it,
that stadium people were crying. I was hugging all these random people. Like, there was nothing I've ever seen like that before. The Saints fans immediately backed out after talking a ton of shit at the end of the game. But it was just incredible. Like, I still have my brochures from the game and everything. But I remember distinctly when that happened, you know, there's like a 30-second delay between what you see in the stadium and what people see on TV.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 30 seconds later, I feel my phone going because everyone knew I was at that game. And my best friend Chase called me. He's like, just take it in. He's like, you're probably never going to experience like a game environment like that ever again. So just like take it in. And I did. And it was just incredible. Like people were partying for like an hour after the game, just in the stadium. Like they weren't kicking people out. Like people were just excited.
It was a drunk night in the Powell household. I'll say that much. It was quite the celebration here at home.
Yeah.
Just when you think like, okay, it can't get any better than the Vikings pull off the miracle win like that.
Yeah.
Out comes the footage of jackass Sean Payton mocking the Skull chant seconds before the Vikings beat his ass. God, I can't stand that ass.
Oh, I Purple for the Win podcast. If you guys haven't checked out him, check him out on YouTube. He always plays that clip where it's like skull and it says douche. Sean Payton. It's so good. I love it so much.
He's such an ass.
I'm a little disappointed, Bobby. Our first kiss didn't make the top 3, but
you know what? It was easily number 7.
Wow. All right. Maybe you should have tried harder.
And to be fair, I don't want to piss off the Broncos fans out there. He's a hell of a coach. He's just an asshole.
Yes, exactly. We have disdain from 2009 still in our mouths too. So
well, you know what you need to put in your mouth, Bobby? A little Watertown whiskey.
Oh, good. I was worried about where that was going.
Well, with that, let's get to a quick commercial break about our sponsor. Here we go.
Watertown Whiskey, guess what? Philadelphia Eagles back-to-back. Here we go, Super Bowl champions. You see, Daniels, it is the Commanders' year. Woo! Super Bowl bound Watertown Whiskey. It's back-to-back. The Chiefs are going back, and they're winning this time. Watertown Whiskey. Y'all boys heading on down to 8 Mile. Lions got this. Watertown Whiskey. It's the AFC's year, but it's the Chargers. There's only one thing I gotta say. Watertown Whiskey. Jets, Jets. Shut on. Hartford Whalers, we're going to the Super Bowl. They're close to Watertown, right? There's one thing we can all agree on. Watertown Whiskey. Escape the ordinary. WatertownWhiskey.com. Drink responsibly.
At WatertownWhiskey.com. Go check them out, guys. They're a sponsor here at Reality After Show. Watertown Whiskey, drink responsibly.
Jason, what did you think of that?
I didn't hear any Vikings there, did I?
I don't have the jersey. Once again, I get screwed out of getting that Jefferson jersey I'm in 6 fucking fantasy football leagues. You think I could get Jefferson in one of them? No.
You know what? I think I warned you about it this year, though. I don't think you're going to be too disappointed by the end of the year. I mean, it's a rookie quarterback. And if Wentz stays in, maybe he gets a little more action, but he's off to a slow start. And, and some of it, too, is Addison being out suspended. It just made it so much easier for the defenses to really focus on Jefferson. Yeah. He'll get his, but I think for where he was going in fantasy drafts, I'm a huge Jefferson fan. And I was like, nope, not for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Another game we want to get to today is, it was one that wasn't high on my list of priorities to watch, but my God, did it go completely opposite of what I would have ever predicted. Falcons versus Panthers. Falcons, after last week, absolutely putting it on with that defense against the Vikings, just crumbled against the Carolina Panthers. 30-0 Panthers win. What are your guys' thoughts? I was shocked.
You're really screwing up my $2 tickets for Panther games, Panthers. I really loved going to a game in Carolina, knowing no one recognizing me for being Jonny Fairplay, and getting free or $2 tickets on StubHub before I entered the game. God bless them. I mean, this team is, they're not good, but they're not as bad as they seem. And wow, are the Falcons really not that good?
I don't know yet. That's a team where they have the pieces and they should be good.
Yeah.
But when and they looked it against the Vikings, of course, but then they turn around and did this. And I mean, as a John Robinson owner in fantasy football, I mean, he got his yardage, but like, come on, man. I was expecting like this guy's just going to roll. And
yeah,
he didn't even find the end zone. No one did for Atlanta. No. So yeah, that was the shocker of the day, I think. I mean, it was just, I guess the Vikings just rolling the way they did. But yeah, I mean, as far as like upsets and decisive, I didn't see that coming. There's another reason that I am probably happy. It's probably a blessing that we don't have legalized gambling there, because I'm sure I would have lost my ass on that game.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked to see there was a statistic that came up, and I apologize if I get this wrong. If I saw it before, and I can't remember if this is absolutely correct, but the Falcons had 400 scrimmage yards and 0 points to show for it. Like, I think they're the first team ever to have that many scrimmage yards and not produce any kind of points, which is shocking to me.
How did Romo do the kicker that we had? He looked great against us.
He was negative 2 points in fantasy.
But did he have missed field goal opportunities?
He went 0 for 2 at field goals.
Yeah. Oh God, yikes. That's too bad. I like that kid.
Yeah. I liked him a lot. Honestly, there was a point last year where I was like, I honestly almost want the Vikings to keep John Parker Romo. And like, he killed us last week and it showed, but like, I really liked him as a kicker, but he just struggled yesterday. And I mean, that's going to happen. Honestly, the Panthers, like the fact that, yes, they had good touch, they had a really good game. Obviously, I think it was more of their defense. Like, that was the story of their defense. Bryce Young didn't have an overly impressive game. 16 for 24, 121 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, to put up 30 points and your quarterback does that is wild to me. And to be able to blank the Falcons, who we all know, like Bijan Robinson's very good running back, possibly, one of the top 2 running backs in football right now. Like, it was impressive to see what the Panthers can do. And I know it was a divisional game. And like I said, those games can be funky, but I knew I didn't want to touch this game for a reason, because I felt like the Panthers against the Falcons, we saw at the end of last year where they cost the Falcons a chance to go to the playoffs. They play well against the Falcons.
That is such a weird division, and then Tampa usually struggles with Atlanta. It's bizarre. And then the Saints are just a mess, but they've actually been a little better than I anticipated. Didn't look at yesterday, but that's a strange division.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. And Teteroa McMillan didn't have an overly impressive game, but he looked like a stud out there. Like, he passed the eye test to me. I think they got a gem of a wide receiver in McMillan.
He's on my fantasy team. I keep waiting for him to find the end zone. Get in there, rookie. Let's go.
Yeah. T-Mac, I got him in one of the 6. Speaking of kickers, real quick, fast forwarding to the Sunday night game, and as Chris Collinsworth said, wow, does this suck?
2 in a row for Sunday Night Football.
Why do the Giants have a kicker that can't kick? So Gano, it's just like he can't kick it more than 20 yards, and when he does, he literally folds over in pain. Are there not? I mean, I knew, like, I went to high school in Danville, Virginia. I went to George Washington High School, senior class president, and that season, those 3 years that I was in high school, we had a foreign exchange student, Rafael Garcia, who came over from Barcelona, and he was our field goal kicker. And we also created a soccer program just for him. He scored all the goals. And I remember when he was being recruited by colleges in high school, before practice, we would I used to hang out with the cool kids, and we would drink we would share a fifth of Pepe Lopez tequila and just pound a bottle of tequila, like, between 10 of us. And I remember one of the college recruiters showed up, and they're just like, hey, and he was just like, yeah, I'm really not feeling it. And like, he just wasn't feeling that college. And they're just like, well, can you show us something? We came here to watch you. And he was like, fine. And he just walks up, literally hammered. A 17-year-old high school kid, hammered, nails a 65-yard field goal. He's like, are we good? Great. And walks off. So Rafael Garcia went on to go to University of Virginia, my arch, and I'm a Hokie. And he for the longest time, he was the highest point scorer for the history of the school. And I'm just like, if there's not a foreign exchange student from Barcelona that can kick field goals for the New York Giants, then who can?
The best kicker in the league is a former soccer player who had to be nudged by his wife to give it a shot.
Yeah,
the Cowboys kicker, Aubrey. That they tell that story all the time. You can't miss it during a Cowboys game. But yeah, they were sitting on the couch watching football, and she's like, "You could do that." And he went and I think to the XFL, and then found his way to the pros. And I mean, he's fantastic. The guy's lights out.
Yeah, but I just don't how.
I think he's the best kicker in football for sure.
Yeah.
But how in the NFL can you have a pro team, a billion-dollar company? And it's just like, yeah, we got a guy that can't kick it 20 yards without doubling over. Oh, heaven forbid he hits a 22-yarder. And it's just like, well, then you're not on my team. Like, I am like, it's just like, hey, who wants to kick a foot? Like Monday through Wednesday, we're looking at kickers.
There's not enough good kickers to go around. And it's been that way for a long time. I seriously, like, if I were like an NFL team, if I had anything, just any say, I would be like, let's bring in some soccer players. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
Because when you're on, I mean, the Vikings were that team. They had Greg Joseph, who was just mediocre, and I know he's still kicking for somebody now. And I mean, we went years without a good kicker. And so yeah, I mean, if you have one, you keep that kicker. Those guys should be paid more even than what they make, because if you can, I mean, well, other than being an alleged creeper, the Ravens with Justin Tucker for years. I mean, you just he lined up and like 99.9% of the time, no matter where it was from, it's going to be a good field goal.
Yeah. So I just can't understand in the world in which we live. I mean, we're talking $1 billion company, and how many players are on special teams? I mean, like you're looking at conglomerate, like just legit special teams players is what, like 10 on your team. You can't find the one guy in the. I'm not even talking about the country. I'm talking about the world. I'm watching the Arsenal play Man City. I guarantee there's a guy for the Arsenal or Man City that can kick a field goal more than 22 yards.
Yeah, but they're making way more money playing for Arsenal or Man City than they would. Yeah,
you gotta find the kid playing over here in the one of the U.S. leagues, and then you got a shot.
Yeah. Okay. I do want to talk about this game a little bit, because the Sunday nighter, man, what a snooze fest for the majority of that game. Honestly, I think the Chiefs are just not that team anymore. I really don't think they're that good. I think their defense is susceptible. We saw that a little bit. Now, Russell Wilson, I also want to say I'm out on Russell Wilson. I've been out on Russell Wilson for a while. I think they need to put Jackson Dart in there. I think 0-3. He hasn't done much. Last game, he was 18 for 32, 160 yards, 2 interceptions. Like, that's not cutting it in the NFL anymore. And I don't care. Like, they need to play Jackson Dart. The fans are going to be clamoring for that, and I think that needs to happen. Also, I want to give a shout out to Cam Scatterbo, one of my favorite running backs in this draft. Absolutely killed it when given the opportunity after Tracy went down with the injury. 10 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown, and 6 receptions for 61 yards. Kid is an animal. I love his drive. I loved watching him at Arizona State, especially against Texas in the playoffs. Kid was just a one-man horse on that team, and I was really hoping my Vikings would get him, but we didn't end up picking him. We got Jordan Mason instead, which I'm happy about. Don't get me wrong. But, I think the Russell Wilson experiment needs to end starting next week.
Yeah, and they may wait one more week. They have the Chargers at home next week.
Yeah.
And, that's a tough defense. They have the Saints on the road the week after.
Yeah.
But, I mean, either way, then they go to they have to host the Eagles. Then they go to Denver, and then they go to the Eagles. I mean, this is going to be a hellacious stretch no matter who's starting other than that Saints game.
Yeah. No, did you hear where Eli gave Jax his number? He's like, you ever need me for anything, you call me, and he hit him up this week.
No, nice.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm trying to get reservations to this restaurant, and I can't get. Can you get me in? That is literally the only time that Jax has reached out to Eli Manning.
I'm sure Eli thought, he's going to ask me some questions about football, and I'm ready, and then he gets that.
Yeah, so, and he got in the reservation.
Oh, that's nice. I would have been like, no, sorry, don't know anyone. Click.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to say too, I think Tyquan Thornton for the Chiefs, kid killed it. 5 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Almost had another touchdown that could have gone in had he just had better control of the ball. But with Rashee Rice being out, Xavier Worthy being out, like, this kid is showing that he can play and he needs to get more time. I mean, I'm out on the Hollywood Brown experiment. That guy is so boom or bust. It's either big play or nothing at all. And I think Tyquan Thornton needs to take that wide receiver 3 position.
Well, that's the thing. When you said like it's not the same Chiefs, they are missing their top 2 wide receivers. And for some reason, they just won't throw in the towel on the Pacheco and Kareem Hunt.
It's crazy.
Combo. Yeah. I mean, the Eagles go out. I was waiting for someone to acquire Tank Bigsby if he was going to be traded, because Jacksonville had 3 good running backs. It was like, maybe it'll be ETN, maybe it'll be him. And the Eagles go out and get him to play behind Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 5th and a 6th rounder. Kansas City should have been all over that.
Yeah, 1000%. I agree. I think that Isaiah Pacheco just isn't that guy. And Kareem Hunt, honestly, I think he's just not the player he used to be.
No.
I agree. I mean, every year you see Isaiah Pacheco there, like in fantasy drafts. I'm like, I can't touch him. Like, he's just so unreliable. He doesn't get in the end zone. He'll have 15 carries for like, I don't know, 60 yards, and that's it. Like, that's the most you can get out of the guy. I'm done with the experiment as well.
He just hasn't been the same since he came back from whatever the injury. I don't even remember what the injury was, but he just hasn't been the same. And so, yeah, if you're not running the ball well, and then you have 2 receivers, and Kelsey's not the same player, let's face it.
Taylor wasn't there last night, Jason. How do you expect the guy to win without Taylor Swift there?
Well, that's true. I mean, I do get that. And we've got, lower the motivation when she's not there for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's seriously, if you don't have your top 2 receivers, you have no running game, your all world at one time tight end is now human. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel for Mahomes, but I mean, they're still, well, they're 1 and 2, but they're still an elite team. I think they'll be in the mix.
So yeah, no, and the Chiefs, like, they're not getting Kelsey the ball. Honestly, Mahomes is at points like missing wide open wide receivers too. There's something off with Mahomes. I feel like he doesn't have the same power. Maybe he's dealing with something that we aren't, isn't being disclosed, but you could just see him throwing kind of like Caleb William Ducks at a certain point. Like, there's some points where I'm watching him, I'm like, that's not Mahomes. Like, Mahomes makes those throws, 10 times out of 10. And he's missing guys by like 5 yards. So there is something there. I don't know what it is. And you saw Kelsey getting into it with Andy Reid yesterday. I think Travis Kelsey needs to go into the sunset after this season. Like, I think it's about that time.
I think he'll transition from the NFL after this season into being the American version of a royal wedding for next year.
There we go. I was just hoping for a gig at Barstool Sports and just call it and be done, but I'll take it.
If I were him, though, I'd be pushing the fact that I want to get married before, like, during the season, because if he gets married and changes his name, hyphens it to Swift Kelsey, highest selling jersey of all time.
Oh God, you're right.
Like,
totally.
The fact that, like, it'd be such a financial decision to just hyphen your name that I'm not kidding. The NFL will probably be pushing for him to play another year just for the jersey sales. Because
I think he's going to be okay either way, though.
He's fine no matter what. But think about, like, you're talking like you can have generational wealth off of those jersey sales.
Absolutely.
I think she has generational wealth off of farting in a fucking jar, dude. I
think if something were to happen, I think Taylor would do okay on OnlyFans. If it really comes to that, let's say she develops a horrible gambling problem or something, she's going to be all right.
All right. So last thing before we got to wrap up here, because we're getting kind of late into it. Let's talk about the game tonight. Lions v. Baltimore Ravens. We know Gabe will be at that game tonight. Johnny, what are your thoughts? Lions and Baltimore. Who do you like, and what do you think about the game?
I think this is the lock of the week, but I got 2 of them. I'm teeter-tottering, and I know that's crazy. I love the parlay of the Ravens minus 4.5. I like Derrick Henry scoring touchdown and anytime touchdown. And but I'm waffling. I don't know if it's going to be under or over. So I say do the parlay on both. You do the $10 on either one, and you're winning $53 either way.
What's the over under in that game?
I initially got it at 53.
Okay, yeah, that seems right.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're gonna get screwed either way. So that if you're doing a $10 parlay, you're winning, you're quadrupling either way. I love betting both sides of it.
I am a big fan tonight of Gibbs scoring nothing but rushing touchdowns. Him and Montgomery. I'm playing against Jared Goff and St. Brown. I don't think this is going to end well for me. I think it is going to probably be a high-scoring game. But come on, King Henry and Gibbs just ground that clock. Yeah, just ride that freaking running game, both teams, and make it the world's quickest game and a nice low-scoring game, and I win my fantasy game.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the games of the week. Week one, I was very unsure about the Lions losing to the Packers, especially now. It's even more in question because the Packers just lost to the Browns, which thank God for that. Was very happy to see that as a Vikings fan. But I will say, and that put the Packers fans down peg, so that was nice.
And Gabe told us last week that the Packers might be the elite of the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone's been saying that ever since they got Parsons. It was like, and that's fine, but you guys went from saying, oh, they'll be lucky to finish third in the division to all of a sudden they get one player. And apparently every position is great now. It's they are a good team, but boy, that was quite the flip-flop people did.
Oh, yeah. And I was very happy to see them taking down a peg or two. So then we got the Lions, who I was worried about them, but last week they absolutely demolished the Bears. Now the Bears are the Bears, and the Lions were at home in that game. So I think it was dramatically different because I don't think the Bears are that team, even though they're always the offseason champions. They are not the team that people thought they were going to be heading into the season. So to see them, defeat the Bears the way they did, sure, it was impressive, but we did it to the Bears too. So come on. I will say the Ravens, in my opinion, are up there with the Bills as the best team in the league, up there with the Eagles, the Rams, what have you. I think the Ravens at home, I think they run away with this. I think that King Henry will get going and probably have 2 scores in this game. My prediction, I'm going to say, I do think it's going to be high scoring because I think those offenses are high powered. I'm going to say 41-27 Ravens.
Yeah, we're going to find out a lot about Detroit tonight because, beating up on the Bears, unless you're the Cowboys, they did smoke. And yes, Bears fans, I know you're going to the Super Bowl. You won one game. That's how they get delusional after every win they ever have until they're mathematically eliminated.
Did you see the preseason, Jason? Oh my God. They've already won. They've already got the trophy.
I think I know 2 grounded Bears fans, and I swear the rest of the fan base that I deal with, it's like just delusional every year. But yeah, I do think that you mentioned the elite teams there, and I think those are like the top 4 with the Eagles, the Rams. Well, I guess. Yeah, I mean, until the Chiefs play better, it's got to be the Bills and the Ravens on the other side. Those would be my guess, my picks right now for making the conference championships. And then, I think tonight, as much as I want it to be low scoring, I think it probably won't be. But we're going to learn a lot about Detroit because with those coordinator changes that they've had, they looked pretty rough that first week and then beating up on the Bears. So what can they do against a real team on the road? We'll see.
Yeah, Bears fans, don't go out of hibernation just yet. It was one game. You guys,
there's no talking to them, man. They're just you can't. Until they lose a game, then even then we're gonna come back and we're gonna win. They have to be mathematically eliminated. They convince themselves they're going all the way.
All right. With that being said, guys, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Everybody, check out Jason Powell's Pro Wrestling Boom podcast. Tell us a little more, Jason.
Yeah, on Mondays, coming out of AEW or WWE's pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever you want to call them, Johnny joins me, and we just run down the pay-per-view event, take some email questions. There was a time we were going live, but we're taking calls, but unfortunately, the service we were using is no more. So it is a recorded show that goes up right away. And we don't do any editing. So there you go. It's like a live show anyway. And you can find that. Just do a search for Pro Wrestling Boom on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And visit my website, prowrestling.net. If you're a wrestling fan, it's updated with news updates and editorials and all sorts of stuff all day, every day. And I slack on Sundays. I got to admit, if there's no wrestling on because there's football. But that's what I do. And you can follow me on social media, both major sites, Blue Sky and that other one at Pro Wrestling Net.
Yeah. And Jason, tell Bobby the opening for the Pro Wrestling Boom podcast.
It is Paul Allen of radio voice of the Minnesota Vikings was nice enough to do that opening for me. I get to know him when I worked at Fanball. Paul Charchian was my boss there, and he and PA do they did the Friday football feast for years, and then this year Charch just up and moved. I think it was Utah or Wyoming, one of the two. Like, what? I haven't even heard back from him. Why did you do this, Paul? You're Mr. Minnesota, but good for him.
I'm a big PA guy. Love PA, voice of the Vikings. Honestly, no one will ever be able to replace PA when he eventually does retire one day, because he is always going to be the voice of the Vikings to me. So that's incredible. I love me some Paul Allen. Johnny, anything else from you?
Watch The Floor this Wednesday night. We're going head to head with Survivor 49 premiere Wednesday at 8:00. The Floor season 4. It's The Floor with Rob Lowe. It's state versus state in Jonny Fairplay. That's me. I'm on there. You would see me in Boston, but Fox said no, you can't do that. You can't charge for tickets for a viewing party. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 6 years, people, and they're like, we're not Survivor. And so we
don't like to have interest generated in our shows.
Absolutely not. I have yet to receive a social media asset. Number one, it is insanity. But they are monitoring my social media to see that I'm throwing a viewing party and threatening legal action. So I canceled that. So I'm watching The Floor here where I live. It'll be amazing. I'll have friends and family. It's a really good episode. I would watch it.
Watch the show, but just know that for so many reasons, you suck, Fox.
Yeah, who knew? So it's check out The Floor. Afterwards is 99 to Beat. I guess I'm doing a podcast on both of them at some point, me and Frank the Clown. So that'll be good. And check out our coverage of Survivor. I think, Bobby, you're doing a podcast with someone. I'm doing a podcast with someone.
Yeah, we'll have our podcast for Survivor on Wednesday night immediately after the episode airs on the East Coast. So not sure who we're going to have for guests for that. Stay tuned for that. We will have that posted later in the week. Also, guys, if you follow me for my live stream that I do Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 12 noon Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific. I will be going live immediately after this podcast. I just got to get the thumbnail made, and then I will be going live with my live stream talking all about the final week of Big Brother. We're also going to talk about Survivor 49, which starts on Wednesday. Very excited about that. So if you guys want, come join the chat, get your comments read live on the live stream, and I will be chatting with you guys, talking about what this crazy Big Brother season has finally come to an end and how disappointed I am in the outcome. So we'll get to that immediately after this. So stay tuned, guys. And with that being said, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate having you here. Johnny, as always a good time. Hopefully we'll have Gabe on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever for another football podcast. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.